A wonderful Wednesday evening to all. William Theo here, homegrown, and happy to bring you PTV News Now. Tops on our stories for this evening. Rice farmers in Central Luzon welcome the reopening of the National Food Authority of NFA's warehouses and a stronger government procurement drive, calling it a lifeline for the struggling sector. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. visited an NFA warehouse and announced plans to establish a floor price for palay to protect farmers from volatile market rates. Currently, the NFA buys dried palay at 24 pesos per kilogram, much higher than the 11 pesos to 13 pesos offered by private traders. The initiative, backed by the Department of Agriculture, or DA, also aims to expand the 20 pesos rice program to benefit minimum wage earners by 2026. Officials are pushing to restore the NFA's authority to retail rice, which was removed under the rice tariffication law. Farmers say the renewed government support has restored their motivation to continue planting, with many hopeful that many higher prices and consistent procurement will make farming sustainable for future generations. Meanwhile, the country's globally underrated cuisine is at the heart of the Department of Tourism's latest program to ramp up the industry. Tourism Chief Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco, a shoe-in for retention in the President's Cabinet reset, led the formal launching of the 5-year Food and Gastronomy Tourism Strategic Framework this afternoon in Parañaque City, which will aid in identifying key locations in the country and tag them as culinary zones. The program scope will also feature out-of-the-box concepts such as farm, factory, and public market tours. An evidently upbeat Secretary Frasco hailed this unprecedented move by the government and to highlight and incorporate food and gastronomy as a core component or central pillar in its tourism strategy. She underscored the huge potential that each region's cuisine could bring in drawing both local and foreign tourists if promoted and marketed widely and continually. In other news, the leader of the world's largest Islamic nation said today his government is ready to forge diplomatic ties with Israel on the condition it recognizes Gaza and the West Bank as a unified or one Palestinian state. President Subianto's declaration comes on the occasion of French President Emmanuel Macron's visit to the country today, where he joined his host in issuing a statement calling for progress on the push for mutual recognition on both sides at an international confab meant to revive the concept of a two-state solution many believe is the only path to lasting peace between Israel and the Palestinians. The international conference is tentatively set for next month in New York City, which Paris will host. Macron is on the second leg of his Southeast Asian tour and was met this morning by a throng of neatly arrayed school children cheering and waving the colors of both countries and the customary honor guard and reception for a visiting head of state, after which Indonesian President Subianto escorted for the traditional honors. Besides his primary excuse to deepen trade relations and reinforce defense ties with Southeast Asia's largest economy, Macron wants Subianto on board his mission to broker peace between Israel and the Palestinians with Indonesia's support and consent for a two-state solution. Indonesia has long been critical of Israel's war of attrition in Gaza and the West Bank and reiterated to never establish friendly ties with a Jewish state. At this point, let's turn to my colleague in PTV's Pine City studios for what's hot and happening in the Cordilleras. Audrey?
Naingatlat dati implementasyon ti Abra Police Provincial Office iti election gun ban kan checkpoint operations iti probinsya kalpasan ti eleksyon. Sikun iti pulisya aging ga June 11 nga epektibo ti implementasyon ti election gun ban tapno maliklikan ti anyaman a krimen. Impanakal ti Abra PPO abi mabati bilang ti major crimes kas iti shooting incidents kan murder kalpasan ti May 12, 2025 national and local elections. Maitunos iti direktiba ni President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ti increased police visibility. Adaan ti Abra PPO itinasurok sa ngaribo talugasot ay uniformed police personnel, pakairamanan ti augmentation ti Regional Mobile Force Battalion ken Special Action Force. Nanayunan lang ti presensya ti pulisya kadagiti komunidad tapno mapapigsat ti community relation ken maipaay ti serbisyo iti publiko. Dida dumapay adamag nang rugi itang aldaw aging May 30 ti ipapaay ti Ilocos Norte government a libre ator kadagiti delegado iti agtultuloy a 65th Palarong Pambansa. May sanapinta sa gundaway amang bisita kadagiti iconic ken barong attractions ti probinsya. Kinuna ni Edison Justin Dues, officer in charge ti Provincial Government Communications and Media Office, adagiti maipaay a libre ator ket first come first serve basis. Dua abas ken talo a coaster ti mabali na pagluganan dagiti interesado iti tour a nakastanbay iti sangwanan ti Provincial Capital. Iti 8:30 ti agsapa a pumanaw no mapuno dagiti pasahero. Mapasyar ti Cape Bohedor Military Camp, Lighthouse ken Kapurpurawan Rock Formation iti Burgos, ti 18 degrees North Camping Site ken Windmills ti Bangi Bay, ken ti South Beach iti Pagudpud. Kabayatan na mabisita madagiti agpabagatan a pasahero ti Malacañang Palace of the North, ti Sand Dunes ken ti UNESCO World Heritage Site at St. Augustine Church iti Paway, ken iti Ilocos Norte Water Park iti La Virgen, Milagrosa Cove iti Badok. Dagita dagiti damdamag manipud iti PTV Cordillera, siya ni Audrey Villena na Imbag Arabi.
And that's a wrap for tonight's program. Join us again tomorrow evening for another set of breaking stories both here and abroad. Make it a habit to always tune in with us for stories you can count on and news you can trust. William Theo wishing you a much cooler and restful night ahead. And thank you for watching PTV News Now.